Hello fellow gamers, I'm playing Fortnite Save The World and I thought I'd do a Ventures tips and tricks video and to basically go through a few weapons so that you guys can decide which weapon to actually spend your weapon research voucher on, the one you get in Ventures. I'm unsure if you get any more than one. I've only got the one so far, but I am only Ventures power level 103 at the moment because I have been doing a lot of missions with some low level friends, and you obviously get a lot less XP because for the 124s, look, you get like nearly 15,000 XP, but then you go down to the I think it goes down to 94 now, does it? Yeah, 94, you get 10,000. So I've been doing missions in like sort of 20, 30 Ventures levels, so yeah, I haven't reached the 140 Ventures ones yet. So what qualifies me to give tips and tricks? Well, I've actually been playing the game for, as you can see, 888 days. I've completed all of my 40 storm shield defenses. Let's show you. And all of my endurance defences as well. I've got the Stonewood one there, Plankerton, Canny Valley and Twine Peaks. And of course I've got the Platinum Trophy as well for this game. But unfortunately you don't get a banner for that, which is a shame. Hopefully Epic will change that in time. So let's just go over the actual Ventures missions themselves. Now if you actually increase the difficulty of them, you gain more Venture XP, but it's not a huge amount. It's like only about 850 to a few thousand at most, so I don't really see the point in increasing the difficulty, because it does make it a lot harder, especially if you max it out. You're going to need a ton of traps in order to take care of those enemies, because if you're, say, Ventures level 50, doing a Ventures level 50 mission, and you increase it, you know, to the max, you know, you're going to be 70, 80, well, your level 50 weapon is not going to be able to kill those higher level enemies very easy, shall we say. So yeah, I'm not in any rush to get through this anyway. I think each Venture season is something like 2.5 months. So yeah, I'll just take my time going through it and do a few missions with my friends. So far I've got the core Re-Perk, which you can use to change one of the perks on one of the weapons. Let me just show you that on. You can't change them on the mythic weapons. As you can see, no alteration available to modify. But other weapons, you can change that last perk, and you can actually look at this now. You don't need that actual core Re-Perk to actually look now and see what the replacements are for that final perk. And it's a shame that Epic didn't give us more of these, because I have literally got hundreds and hundreds of weapons, as you can see. I've got so many that I want to god roll. Still going. I have cut them down a little bit, but once you've got rid of them, you've got rid of them. Mind you, the first one will go into your collection book, and then after that you just get the XP for it. So I'll just keep hold of them until I'm ready to cut them down a bit further. I won't go on about the hero excuse me, hero supercharger. I've only got 2 of those at the minute. I'm going to save them until I've got 5. The survivor superchargers, I've had 7 of those and I have used 5 of them, and the trap supercharger, I haven't used that yet. So what I've done with the survivor is I've put it all into one, and it's raised it hasn't raised my power level, but it's raised it by sort of like one block. You can see there's like 5 blocks at the top. Well, you can't because my channel logo's there, but there's 5 blocks at the top, and it was 270, I believe. Yeah, 270. And each time you promote your survivor, it goes up 1 star, so it turns the stars from white to blue. So I thought I would put it into the lead mythic survivors first. Every time I get 5, I will just whack all 5 into one of those. And I do have one of every single lead survivor, so I could effectively change around my survivor squads, but at the minute I'm happy because they've all got different personalities and they're all matching, and that's what I wanted to actually do. Right, let's get into what weapons you should be thinking about. I'm not going to say, oh, you must get this weapon or you must get that weapon. It's just a guide to maybe help you out to choose, you know, what to get really. What I would say is, if you like pistols, then, and you use pistols a lot, choose a pistol. If you like assault rifles, then choose an assault rifle. And if you like snipers, choose a sniper. You know, just do it like that. So let's sort by name. I've actually made a list. So the first one, gone by it already. Let's go on to, it'd be easier if we go that way. We're going to start with melee weapons and hardware and that. And forgot what I was looking for now. Oh yeah. I've got so many. The first one I would recommend is the surround pound. If you don't have the mythic Storm King fist, I think it's called the Fury, then this is a pretty good alternative weapon to use. You can see I've actually got 2. It was in the store the other day, so I did buy a second one, but that would be one of the melee weapons that I've chosen on this list. Next one is where is it? There, the ear splitter. It's decent weapon. You can actually use this weapon to farm. You just slam it into the ground and you can actually farm resources with it. I don't know if it's actually better than using your pickaxe or not, but yeah, you can farm resources, so it's pretty good as a weapon and a tool. And if you got a Fossil Southie build, I did a video a little while back with the Fossil Southie using this in a deliver the bomb, and he could use it virtually almost all the time. So just stood on top of the bomb and slammed it into the top. If you haven't seen that video, then you might want to go and check it out. So the next one, and I will tell you which of these weapons is my #1 pick as well. So is the Tree of Light. As you can see, I've got a few of those as well. But you can have him in all different elements, so I thought, if you know, I might as well keep him, and then, you know, I could have him in all different elements if I wanted, because once you get rid of it, you got rid of it. Well, apart from the first one, obviously it goes in your collection book, and then you have to pay the 20 V-Bucks to get it out again, which isn't too bad really. I have done it with a couple of weapons. And the next one is the Baron. Now this isn't really, I don't use it as a weapon, I use it as a tool. As you can see there, I've got 3 movement speeds on it. and that makes you run like crazy. You can outrun ninjas, and probably almost outrun a hoverboard as well with that equipped in your hand. And I've actually kept it at I've got a legendary one as well, but these ones are just purely for the movement speed. One sunbeam and one bright core, and then I can downcraft them, you know, if I wanted to, which I usually do anyway. I usually have an obsidian or a shadow shard version of it. I don't have any malachite, so I can't craft a malachite one, but like I said, it's just for the movement speed. It's great for that. And the next one is where is it? There. Lead sled. Now this again, not useful so much as a weapon, but more as a tool, because it's got an attack that you basically do the heavy attack, and it can get you up to a higher level. You know what I mean? You don't have to like build to get up to a raised part in a world. You can just do your heavy attack, and this will, you know, basically transport you around the map to higher levels. The Storm King weapon as well is gone the wrong way. It's a good alternative to that. There we go. I use that, and it does the same thing. You just do your heavy attack, and rather than wasting your resources building, you just use that to sort of fling you up to a higher part of the map. So you see, I've got 4 of those. I've got 2 in energy, and then 2 in physical. And you can't. Oh yeah, that's another thing. It says on the voucher thing that you can actually use this for legendary and mythic weapons. You cannot use it on the mythic Storm King weapons, that voucher. So just thought I'd let you know. There'll be a lot of disappointing people out there, but get to power level 22 and then get in there and do the mythic Storm King. It's well worth the wait. Right, the next one is the Vinditech Slammer, and I've actually been using one of these in the Ventures. Hadn't really used it that much before then, but yeah, it's a decent one. It sort of stuns the enemy, and you know, you just hit a taker a couple of times with that, and it puts them into like a little bit of a sleep, if you know what I mean. Stops them from attacking you, so it's not too bad a weapon. So out of the Surround Pound, Ear Splitter, Tree of Light, the Baron, Lead Sled and a Vinditech Slammer, the one that I would choose is a Surround Pound. So next we'll go on to swords. And the first one is the Spectral Blade. Now this is like the mythic Storm King Ravager. It does the same sort of warping attack, although it doesn't do the sort of wave of energy that you can shoot out like the Noble Launcher. And I have done videos on the mythic weapons if you want to go and check them out. And it does snare damage. I don't know if you can actually change that last perk. Yes, you can. You can change that one as well. Most of the weapons you can change the final perk. Depending on what weapon is, it depends on how many replacements there are. Sometimes there's 1 or 2, sometimes there's 4 or 5, and then other ones you can't change it, like on the mythic weapons. So that would be one of my choices for the swords. The other one would be the Vinditech Slicer. And it's not too bad a sword. My favourite one before the mythic weapons was Stabsworth III, but you'd have to research that using legendary flux. You can't use it. I don't think you can use your voucher on that one because it's in the normal weapons. And out of the 2 of those, I would choose the Spectral Blade. So let's go on to shotguns, and first one is I think. There, this was actually in the store the other day as well, but it's sort of like a version of the Tiger Jaw or the Room Sweeper. It's not too bad a gun, so that would be one of my choices of if you prefer shotguns, get this one or the other one I'm going to show you. And the other one is the Pulsar 9000. This one, it shoots like an expanding ring, but you got to use it at pretty close range to the enemies, so it might not be the sort of shotgun for everyone. Out the two of them, I don't know really, because they both have the good points and their bad points, so tough one that. I don't know. Probably the staccato shotto, maybe. Probably because it's you don't have to use it as close to the enemies as this one, but you can sort of fire sort of a little bit from the side and get the ones with the riot shields, you know, the riot shield husks. And next we'll go on to RPG and explosive weapons, and I think it begins with T rather than P. Where is it? There we go. The pot shot. Now this really surprised me how powerful it is. You can basically take out a smasher, you know, in just a few shots. The downside is I think it uses like 3 ammo per shot, so yeah, it does eat the ammo. That's the downside, but yeah, it's really powerful. And that last perk, standing in place for 2 seconds, grants plus 11% damage, stacks up to 5 times, so you can have up to 55% extra damage. Can we actually change that one out? Yeah, that's got I probably wouldn't change it though. I'd probably leave it at that, although I do like my affliction damage, I must admit. I prefer most of my weapons to have affliction, because then you can like shoot them a few times and then just leave them, and the affliction will kill him in like 6 seconds. So it's that's why I prefer affliction on my weapons. A lot of people prefer snared, but I don't. I'd rather have it doing damage than not doing damage. The next one, there we go, Santa's Little Helper. Now this is it's quite a beast of a RPG, very underrated. Does a ton of damage, and you can change the have the different, you can have, I have mine energy to just tackle everything. We can have fire, nature, physical, or water on it. It's a cracking RPG. 157,702 damage, but that will be different on your game, depends on how much, you know, what your power level is, and if you've got range damage in your survivor squads, etc. So yeah, that number will differ for you as it is on mine. Next one, Where is it? Snowball launcher. That's another. I'm not overly fond of the launchers, but out of all of them, I prefer this one personally, myself, the best. And next one is going to be where is it? It's there. Deatomizer 9000. If you're in Lake Canny Valley, early Twine Peaks, this is a cracking RPG weapon to have, or explosive weapon to have. A lot of people use it for the Mythic Storm King until they get the Wrath and the RPG Mythic RPG launcher. It's good for clearing out crowds of enemies, because you've got that expanding ring of damage. It's it's a pretty good weapon. It is a bit ammo hungry, but so make sure you've got plenty of batteries, because you're going to need them to craft the energy cell ammo for that. And the next one is the quad launcher. Does this actually come in different? I think it only comes in fire. Yeah, it only comes in fire. So this weapon, it's only useful against nature enemies. So because when you fire it, it's like a pool of fire on the ground for a few seconds. So I'd only recommend getting this if you're going to be, say, in Twine Peaks and you're going to be fighting a lot of nature enemies. And the last one in the explosive ones is the Noble Launcher. Again, it's a brilliant weapon. It shoots out like a horizontal wave of energy. The longer you sort of hold down the sort of fire button, it widens the beam of energy. So you could have like a quick blast where it shoots like a half a tile wide, and I think it goes up to about 2 or 3 tiles maybe. I'm not 100%, I can't really remember, but I did used to use this. Oh yeah, we go 1.5 tiles. It goes up to 1.5 tiles wide. So yeah, you charge it up a bit, and it can take out a bigger area of enemies. And my pick out of these ones, the Pot Shot, Santa's Little Helper, Snowball Launcher, Deatomizer 9000, Quad Launcher and Noble Launcher, is the Deatomizer 9000. I think the Noble Launcher comes in a very close second though, because it is a brilliant weapon. So let's go on to SMGs now. Forgot what I was looking for again. Check the list. There we go. I know what I'm looking for now. And the first of the SMGs is the Silence Spectre. Probably one of the weapon. It's got the highest DPS, I think, of any of the SMGs. It's a really cracking good weapon. You can, because it's got a silencer on it. You can actually, if there's not too many enemies close together, you can just pick them off one by one from a distance. And I've got Affliction on mine. I've only got 3 with Affliction, but these other ones, I think most of them are snared, but I can always change out that last perk to Affliction if I wanted. I've got one of those cool Re-Perks to use. But yeah, it's a great weapon. I've got 2 in energy. I've got one Sunbeam, and one bright core, because then it gives me a lot of crafting options, and both in energy, and then I've got the one in fire there, which is sunbeam. If I get another one, I'll make it bright core and fire, and then if I get any more after that, then I will obviously make them in the other elements in water and nature as well. The next one is, where is it? The pepper sprayer. In my opinion, it's not quite as good as the Silent Spectre. As you can see, 65,225. Actually, we can compare them, can't we? Where's the sunbeam one? Yeah, there we go. As you can see, the DPS on the pepper spray is 65,000. The Silent Spectre is 98,000. Damage wise, about 1,200 damage difference. Headshot damage, it's a bit more than that though. And the critical hit chance on the Silent Spectre is 10% higher, although the critical hit damage on the pepper sprayer is 110% higher than it is on the Silent Spectre. The fire rate is 9.9 on the pepper sprayer and 12.74 on the Silent Spectre. And the magazine size, they're virtually the same. The Silent Spectre's got 4 shots in a mag less, and the range is slightly more on the pepper sprayer as well. Reload time's 1.5 seconds on the pepper sprayer, where it's 2 on the Silent Spectre. And I believe the perks should be virtually identical anyway. Right, next one. Next one is the Hemlock. It's a decent enough SMG. I had this one when I was using enemies. I think I was using it in Fortnite when I was wanting to like gain shield, because the last perk on this one, each shot fired grants 3.5% shield for 5 seconds, stacks up to 10 times. So if you're using a hero that has shield, it's useful for them. But if you're using the blast from the past perk, it is not, because you've got no shield and 200% health. You can change out that last perk, and there's 4, as you can see, there's 4 different. There's another one there on crit, regain 2.64% of damage dealt with shields. Damage dealt with this weapon snares the target by 30% for 6 seconds. On hit, bullet splinters into shrapnel, dealing 40% damage in a cone behind target. Landing 5 hits in a row on a single target causes a small explosion, damaging enemies within half a tile of the target for 70% damage. So yeah, you could change out that last perk for one of the other ones, although I wouldn't choose the shield one. It would either be the bullet splinters into shrapnel probably, or the landing 5 shots in a row causes an explosion. But one of those two that I would choose myself. And the next one is, where is it gone? Ah, there it is. Is the Bobcat. Another underrated SMG. I really enjoy. I have used this quite a bit in some previous game modes. It's got a fire rate of 10.8, so it's pretty fast. The only downside is the reload time, and I did have one of the perks changed out to lower that reload time, but I decided to go with crit rating and double crit damage in the end, and leave it on that 3.3, which is more than I think for a reload speed for an obliterator. I think that's about 2.7. 2.7 or something like that. So for an SMG, it's quite a long reload time in my opinion. Out of these weapons, out of the Silent Spectre, the Pepper Sprayer, the Hemlock and the Bobcat, my pick of those would be the Silent Spectre. But I was going to say, if you do have a weapon, Ventures weapon research voucher, you know, you don't have to rush and, you know, redeem it straight away. I'm not rushing in redeeming mine. I don't know what I'm going to get with it yet, so I'll just hang on to it. It's not like it's going to expire or anything. Do you know what I mean? You just don't be too hasty, because once you've spent it, it's gone. You're going to have to wait another 2.5 months to get another one, unless we get 2 in this venture season, although I don't know. I'm thinking that we're just probably going to get the 1. So let's move on to assault rifles. So first one would be the bundle bus. As you can see, I've actually got 4 of those. This was in the store again fairly recently. I bought it again because I'm hoping to have one in every single element, or if possible 2 of every element. I always start with energy, and then I go for fire, because fire is good against nature enemies, and energy is good against all of them. So I always go for energy and then fire, and then I don't know what after that, because I haven't got that far. I think I've got some siege breakers actually that all in different elements. Yeah, so you've got bright core sunbeam in energy, and then fire. I haven't leveled that all the way up here. I'll only take weapons to 106. I won't take them to 130 unless they're god rolled like that, and then it gives me an incentive to actually god roll it, because I'm always running out of legendary and epic perk up and Re-Perk, and so we've got nature and water. Well, I don't have physical yet. Actually, I've only got 1 more affliction damage, because they're all affliction damage, which I said I preferred. Unless one of these is affliction. Yeah, it is. Oh, that's okay. I've got enough then. Right, next one is, after the bundle bus, is Pain Train. Pretty unique as well, because it actually sounds a bit like a steam train when you fire it, and the last perk I've got on that is each shot fired grants 1.8% damage for 1 second, stacks up to 15 times, and as you can see, I've actually got 4 of those, and they're all in I've got them in the different elements, although only 2 of them are actually god rolled at the minute. Oh no, we don't want to promote it. You can actually have it affliction damage as well, and each shot fired grants plus 1.8 critical rating. Now that would maybe be a good perk to have as well, the crit rating one. I probably wouldn't have affliction on this, I don't know. I think I'd either go for the damage or the crit rating with that one. So I've got plenty of ARs, and most of them are affliction, so it's nice to have something that's a little different. And the next one is a Gravedigger. You can actually choose the Gravedigger. Now you can normally only get this around Halloween time. I've got only 2 of them at the minute. I think I just missed out getting it the first time. I think I started playing just after Halloween, and otherwise I'd have 3 of those now. I've got 1 in energy and 1 in fire. The 1 in fire was actually my original one, and then I chose energy as well. Brilliant assault rifle, really enjoy using it, and it does have affliction damage as well. Let's just have a quick look at the yeah, you could have the same perk as the pain train. Each shot 5 grants with plus 1.8% damage, but I think I would leave this on the affliction, because you use less ammo. You just, like I say, you just shoot Husk a few times and you leave him, you move on to the next one, and the affliction damage will kill him, providing they're not too close to you, obviously. They have to be a little bit of away, if you know what I mean, to actually take advantage of the affliction. Next one is the hacksaw. So if you like these sort of guns, like machine guns, this is the best one. What was the other one? The Terminator, I think, but that's nowhere near as good as this weapon. The downside is you can't have crit damage and crit rating on it, unfortunately. Got crit damage at the top there. Yeah, you could have two reload speeds. 5.1 reload time. Oh my goodness, that is quite a lot. But it does have a magazine size of 100, so that keep you firing for a while. And it's snare damage. Oh, I could change it to affliction though. Ooh, that's tempting. So if you like to spray everywhere, you're not too worried about bullet consumption, that's a gun for you. Next one is, I don't know if this begins with W or if it begins with T. Probably, why is it beginning with T? Well, it could be the. I think it's going to be W. Yeah, there we go. Wraith. It's basically a siege breaker, a slower firing siege breaker, but it does a fair bit more damage. It's a pretty hard hitting assault rifle, this, and it has a suppressor on, so like the Silent Spectre, you can take out enemies from a distance, and you know, just pick them off one by one, basically. And I could change that to affliction. And it's got 2 of the new perks as well. Standing in place for 2 seconds grants plus 11% damage. And standing in place for 2 seconds grants plus 17% damage to versus missed monsters. I would choose affliction though myself, but I'm going to keep that perk until I've 100% decided where I'm actually going to use it, because I've got 2 wraiths. I've actually got affliction damage 1, and I've also got one getting 5 headshots in a row increases ranged weapon damage plus 30% for 10 seconds. You see the difference there. DPS 119,000 versus nearly 75,000. See, that's all damage all the way. 4 damage perks on it, whereas that's got 1 crit rating and 2 crit damage and 1 damage perk on it. And the last one for the assault rifles, probably should have just gone through them on the collection book, it would have been probably quicker, but I did want to show you that I do have these weapons, and that would be the Hydra. And this one has the last perk of headshot eliminations, cause an explosion, dealing damage within half a tile for 30% weapon damage, which I would probably change out. I'm not overly fond of that that last perk there. got a magazine size of 10, so you'd have to take that into account if you was picking the landing 5 hits in a row on a single target. Causes an explosion, damaging enemies within half a tile of the target for 70% damage. Yeah, that 30% damage, it's not enough, I don't think. 70% damage, that's quite a bit more. So out of these, the Bundle Bus, Pain Train, Gravedigger, Hacksaw, Wraith and Hydra. Ooh, it's a tough one. The Pain Train's really good. I would probably have that as my third choice. It would either be between the Bundle Bus and the Gravedigger. Ooh, tough decision. Because they're both decent. I'll probably choose the Bundle Bus because that is it's pretty good against smashers, I must admit. It's a great weapon for using against them. So yeah, we'll go with Bundle Bus. Let me just scribble that out. Because I hadn't made my mind up when I was sort of writing these down to as to which one, but now I've actually thought about it. But yeah, the Bundle Bus. So we're actually going to go on to sniper rifles now. I did cut these down not that long ago as well, and I've still got loads of schematics. And the first one is the Xenon bow, or Xenon bow, however you want to pronounce it. Now, you could effectively get this out of a 50 Vbuck upgrade llama, so you might want to wait and until you get one out of that, rather than spend your weapon research voucher on it. But that's entirely up to you. The great thing about this bow is actually it's the only weapon that pierces through the riot shield, you know, the shields of the riot shield husks, because they are a right pain. Trying to shoot through that like little, you know, sort of letterbox slot where the eyes are, it's really tough. You know, unless you're sort of fairly close to them. But this will pierce through them. So I said it's the only weapon that does. So that's why I've actually put this on the list. But as I said, you can get it in a 50 Vbuck llama. So my advice: wait until you get out of that. But if you like bows, then it's a decent bow. I've had a look through, and you can't actually get the boom bow. That isn't actually in the collection book, unless it's under the normal ones. I think out of all the bows, the boom bow is still my favourite, because the range on the bows is like just over 10,000, but on the boom bow it is. What do you mind doing here? It's 25,000, so it's more than double. I could actually reset this, as you can see there. I can press L2 and reset it, but I daren't, because I want to keep that range. I don't want to reset it and then the range go down to just over 10,000, because that's, you know, I want this weapon for the range, because it's a lot further than all the other bows that you can get. And it's, in my opinion, it's still the daddy, but unfortunately you can't get this one. So the Xenon bow's a good alternative. Right, next one is old Betsy. Now I've got this in physical because I was actually using it to break the crystal in the Mythic Storm King, and it does more damage with physical. So didn't mean to click off it then. The only downside to it is it does not have a scope. But similar weapon is a spyglass, and that is pretty similar, but it does have a scope or a sight on it. So if you wanted a scoped version, go for the spyglass. If you don't, go for this one. Next one is, well, it is actually up the way. It's taking a bit longer than I thought. Apologies for that. Is the crankshot. Now it says this is a sniper rifle, but it fires more like an assault rifle. It is. It's got a quite a crazy fire rate for a sniper 5.4. I believe that is higher if you have the Obsidian or Brightcore version. I do have a second one that I haven't. There you go. Yeah, it's 6. Fire rate is 6. It would be Obsidian or Brightcore, and fire rate of 5.4 if it was Sunbeam or Shadow Shard. Yeah, I use this on endurance quite a lot with what's his name, Zenith, the Outlander, with the freeze perk on, because it would freeze smashers. So yeah, it's good if you like fast firing assault rifles, sniper rifles. Then that's a decent one to go for. Next one is the Obliterator. Now this is basically the heavy sniper in Battle Royale. You can actually shoot walls of buildings and take out a building, just shooting all the walls out with this thing. It's pretty powerful. Another thing it can do is if you it fires through walls. If you've got a defender, you could put a wall all the way around them and it will shoot through the wall you've built without destroying it. So yeah, I do like this. This is what I use for breaking the crystal on the Canny Valley Storm King, because it's more ammo efficient than the Mythic RPG. I use the Mythic RPG on the Mythic Storm King, but I use this one on the Canny Storm King, and it's also good for the old smashers as well. And I've got one in energy. I've got 2 in energy. I think I did have them all in different elements, and then I changed one to so I could have 1 bright core and 1 sunbeam. So depending on what I fancied using would depend on which one I crafted. You see the headshot damage is 136,500. It's got a critical hit chance of 51%, critical hit damage of 345%. Magazine size of only 4, and the reload time it's 3.5. So it's just like, I think it's 0.2 of a second more than the Bobcat. So that's not too bad for a sniper rifle. But yeah, it's a really good one, that. And the next one, or the last one actually in the sniper rifles, is the Neon Sniper Rifle. Now this one's actually more useful for, like, if you're doing storm shield defenses, endurance or something like that, because you can actually see through your builds, and you can see the husks. I was using this weapon on endurance so I could see which waves had the propane husks on, because you'd see it, sort of carrying it on the shoulder, and yeah, it's very handy for that. And like the Obliterator, it can shoot through walls as well, so you can shoot through your structures from a fair distance away, still killing the husks and being able to see them. So it's a pretty useful sniper rifle, that one. Right, out of all of the sniper rifles, the Xenon Bow, Old Betsy, Crankshot, Obliterator and the Neon Sniper, my pick would be the Obliterator, definitely 100%, followed probably by the Xenon Bow and then the Neon Sniper. Yeah, the Obliterator, it's really good, well worth getting if you're into sniper rifles. Right, let's go on to the pistols. I've only got 2 of these. The reason I've only got 2 is because I don't really use pistols that often, so I can't really recommend weapons that I haven't used. I'm only going to recommend weapons that I have used. You know, that may change in time. The first one is Jack's Revenge. This has a crazy amount. It's only a 106. Look at that headshot damage, 340,000, and it's only got blue rolls on it and a 106. I think it must be the most powerful pistol in the game. The downside is it only fires 1 shot, and it takes 2 seconds to reload. But I do as you can see, I do have 2 perks on headshot damage there, so that's probably why it does a lot of headshot damage. I thought I'd switch things around and not just always go for like critical damage builds and crit rating builds. So I'd have something a little different. I wonder what that's going to be crazy when I've leveled it up, when I've god rolled it and it's 130. That's going to be a smasher killer. Probably 1 shot will kill a smasher if you get it in the head, I reckon, with that thing. And my next one is, where is it? Is the Whisper 45. Like the Wraith and also the Silent Spectre, it has a silencer or suppressor on it, meaning that you can pick off enemies from a distance if they're not too close together. You know, just pop one in the head and you can just pick them off one by one. Great pistol. And if out the 2 of them, Jack's Revenge and the Whisper, although Jack's Revenge does do tons of damage, I would choose this one. And looks like that's it. That's all of them. Oh, I thought there was another page. I apologise that it's taken so long. It would probably, like I said, it'd probably be easier if I'd have gone through them on the collection book. I think I've got about 73 god roll 130 weapons now, not counting traps, ranged weapons and melee weapons. My aim is to have at least 2 of every weapon in the game god rolled, but it's going to take a long time. See, all of these, they're all blue rolls. Oh, 2 weapons. If you want weapon, there's 2 weapons in the game that will give you health pickups, right? I thought I'd mention this. One of them's a pistol, and it is the Ginger Blaster. As you can see, eliminating enemies with this weapon can spawn healthy healing gumdrop pickups. So you've got a pistol that does that, and also, actually, let's go on to a collection book. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I haven't used it in that. There it is, candy corn. That's it. I couldn't. The name just slipped my mind. Candy corn. It's basically similar to the hacksaw, but you just go on to. There we go. We're going to. There we are. Candy corn LMG. Yeah, this also, eliminating enemies with this weapon can spawn healing candy pickups as well. So if you've got somebody in the group maybe doing endurance, or even in a mission, firing one of these or the pistol, you can actually gain health from them. So they are quite handy. The downside is you can only have it in physical. You can't unfortunately change it to anything else unless they've changed it. No, they haven't. It's still only physical, which is a shame because I'd have liked that in either energy or fire. But you can have 1 crit rating, 2 crit damage, and the reload time is 4 seconds, which is I think about half a second longer than the hacksaw. Is it? I'm sure it was. Where is it? There it is. Oh no, the hacksaw was 5.1, wasn't it? Yeah, it's weird. You've got 2 weapons virtually the same, and yet there's a 1.1 second. Was it 3? I forgot already. My mind today, it's just gone blank. No, it's 4 seconds and 5.1, wasn't it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but they should both have they're both LMGs. They should both have the around the same reload time. Well, we're going to end this video there before I actually run out of time. So again, sorry it took so long. I hope you've actually found this video useful. Let me know what you're going to choose, which of the weapons you're going to choose. It could be one that I've suggested, or perhaps you fancy a different one. You know, this is only a guide to help you, you know, to choose a decent weapon. You know, you're completely free to choose whatever you want, apart from the mythics, obviously, and also the you can't actually choose any of these other ones that are in here either. I don't believe. Oh, you can. Wow, I didn't know that. I checked earlier. I went on one of them, and I think it was the Siege Breaker, and I went research. Yeah, it's going to cost legendary flux and weapon design. So it looks like you can, yeah, you can choose some of these then. Apologies for that, I did not know, but I do now.